Now my job here is as your wizard,
Facilitating the change, offering
facilitating the change.
offering the opportunity to change.
Correct.
In this clip, KB and I discussed the hero's journey and the model's role in coaching. I hope you enjoy it.
Used Joseph Campbell's The Hero Story. And there's another guy, I'll shoot you the link. There's another guy that kind of took that and made it more refined, right, and a little more understandable. And I use that as my sequence. And because I use that a lot for other things. And as I use that as part of my sequencing, I know where we are on the journey. I have the map.
So when I think of the hero story, I think, right, the archetype is adversity, and you lose something. You lose something important to you, you lose a part of yourself, and then you have to go on a journey to become the person that, what does Jordan Peterson always say? Rescues your father from the belly of the whale and the depths of the sea, who is able to overcome the temptations that are afforded to you or that are made available to you, and then you become a real person once you've gone through the journey, once you've experienced the danger and faced the danger willingly and come out the other side. That's what I think. But like, I'm interested in.
You are not wrong.
How to apply it to coaching. And didn't Joseph Campbell also write The Hero with 1,000 Faces?
Yep, he did the work. Like, he did the work for all humanity to try to uncover where all these similarities of our story, the way we tell stories, where it all comes from.
Yeah.
So we can thank him for doing that for us, right? As a collective human consciousness. All right. So here, I use this now. And the way I do this as part of coaching, right? They are the you. They are the protagonists, right? They're the hero. So if I was doing it for you, right? And I go, Marcus, welcome. Let's talk about where you are today. Where are you today? And before we get into where you're trying to go or what your problem is, let's just talk about where you are today. What is your story up to date? And that's the you part. Then we go into the need, which is like the call to action. I go, why are you on the phone with me today? What was it that drew you to seeking a coach in the first place? What is it what is not right with your world? And they go into that particular piece. And now we go into the go, which is, all right, we're going to cross the threshold. And this is where, between the go and then the search, this is where the fears, where I talk about the shadow, right? Where I talk about the three pieces, the fear, the objections, and the distractions inside the search. Going is just a commitment moment, right? So in search, we talk about the fears. And then in the find, this is where we talk about, well, what does this all mean to you, right? So I'm using the same pattern, but now I know where I am in their story along this one coaching session. And are they finding the thing that they need? And then once they find it, what they need, they got to take it. And that take is the aha. It's like, oh my God, KB, I didn't realize. I see it now. Oh, man. And I'm like, yep, now you can't unsee it. And that's the take. And then them taking the notes and defining their own actions right there is when they're starting to return home, because they're taking it home now. They're writing out their own action plan. And now they're forever changed because they have the awareness of it. And I do address that on our next session. I go, what did you change about yourself since our last session? Or what changed? I'm not asking what they did. I'm asking how did they change from our last session? And because I'm now using this as the general map of the conversation, I know where we are at all times along this journey. And I know that we're going to get into some dark spots. I know that we're going to talk about some things that are going to be a little upsetting at some point. I know we're going to address things that they've been avoiding. Right? Like, I know. And because of this particular process, I know my role in this is the wizard. I am the Gandalf on their journey. I'm the one helping them figure out what their next step is, keeping them on track. If that makes
Mhm.
sense, right? I'm the mentor because there's always the mentor in Joseph Campbell. Like you meet the mentor as you cross over. You need the mentor to help you cross over the threshold because you've never been there before, so you don't even know where to go. So you need somebody to kind of take you to the edge,
Mhm.
and I see that as my role in the coaching.
Interesting. I like
'Cause-
how it has order and chaos represented in there as well.
Yeah, because things get crazy.
Yeah, where as you step out of your comfort zone, once you've identified the need and committed to pursuing it,
Right.
the search, you're in you're in the dark forest
Yeah,
looking for looking for what it is that you need to find. And once you
exactly.
found it, like somebody's going to want to keep you from
Exactly.
taking it.
And that's usually around the find. So the search is the struggle. So like all these mini boss fights happen in the
Yeah.
search. On the find though is the big boss fight. The thing that's been holding you back on this one moment, the thing you never wanted to address, the thing that's going to upset you right now, we're going to
Yeah.
get there in the find.
So in not Snow White, but Sleeping Beauty, that's when the prince has to slay Maleficent, right?
Mhm.
You found the girl, great.
Right.
Now what?
You can't take her until you deal with the boss.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That's so interesting. And
I-
seeing it broken out like that is illuminating for
In fact, you
sure.
could use the same model if you're just watching a sitcom,
Yeah.
and you can pin
Well,
it through this to the movie, through the show, where we are in the show. At 45 minutes of every sitcom, there's always the big dramatic moment.
yeah, yeah.
Every time, 40 to 45 minutes, every single time,
Story arc
right?
has to
And then
finish,
then they
and
get it, they kill the boss, and they take the reward, and they come back and they have a little yeah, man, we're now forever different because of this experience.
yeah, yeah. I'm thinking of the movie Fight Club.
Yeah.
Remember Fight Club?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like,
The
uh,
find in this is when he shoots himself in the face.
which is kind of crazy because that's like 8 minutes before the movie ends.
I know, right? And it because then he takes control over who he is, and he understands who he is, right? And then he returns back, and he understands, like after everything's crashed, he's now they just kind of cruise through that last arc in like 2
But
minutes.
then if you were to extend chaos into the new order that he now exists in as they're
Hmm.
watching the credit
Right.
card buildings
Collapse.
crumble after they
Yep.
bombed them all,
Yep.
like that. Yeah, no, that's interesting. It's interesting to see that representation and then apply it to, yeah,
In
the
fact, you can
well.
see, and what's weird is that this is kind of a universal human pattern, kind of like the golden mean, pi, right? Like it's almost math. You can see this in your own story arc right now on the different stories that you are currently living. And you
Mhm.
can probably you define a particular story for yourself, you'll find out where you are. You can probably pinpoint where you are on this map for that particular story
Yeah,
because you're living multiple stories at one time, right?
that's
Some
good.
you're just defining, getting going. Some you've been on the fucking boss fight for a while, right? Other ones you're returning home with the boon, right? With the treasure, and you're
Yeah.
trying to figure out what that looks like, and you're trying, you know what I mean? Like we're constantly on this pattern in multiple ways at all times. And so that's how I now use this in coaching because I think this is a much better template, a much more natural template than what people make up, right? People make up shit. All these coaches thing, they make up all the shit, which is really the same thing. Who are you? Commit to action, dig deep, return home,
Who
right?
do you want to become?
Who do you want to become? And now I just channel this into the becoming, which is now an infinite game
Mm.
instead of a doing game. It's an infinite because it's a becoming game versus a doing game. And I apply that as an overlay. Who are you becoming through all this journey? Now my job here is as your wizard.
Facilitating the change.
facilitating the change.
Offering the opportunity to change.
Correct. And giving insights and things along the way.
Appreciating your change.
Right.
Being the other brain in the room as you're looking at the changes that you want to make on the screen in front of you.
Yep.
Fueling
Fly,
the
you
art.
fly.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That feels deep, you know? It feels like I had the opportunity to read The Hero with a Thousand Faces several years ago when my former mother-in-law sent me home with it after visiting her for Christmas. And I think I read like 2 pages of it. I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this because I didn't retain that.
Don't read it. Just watch YouTube videos.
Just
the concept isn't that hard. Because you get into his academic. If you just trust that he did the academic work, you can move out of the book. Right? Trust the theory. Do you trust the theories? Is the theory sound? Is it built on real strong premise of real good research? If yes, skip the book, go to the YouTube videos, and just learn the concepts and accept them.
Yeah.
Right? Skip the whole qualifying piece. Just go to the knowledge. And this guy, the link I just sent you, took it another step. Like he just made it more easy to understand.
More accessible, yeah.
More accessible. Way more accessible. Because Joseph is an academic, and then people don't always vibe with what he's talking about.
Yeah, academics tend to be not the best writers.
They're terrible. They're great for academics.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's because the audience is not people who are reading for pleasure. It is people who are reading to come to a deeper understanding of
No, they're reading to judge in academics. They're reading to judge. That's why it's so horrible to read an academic line, because they have to justify everything they put down. That's why you're always feeling like, oh my God, why is this drudging? Just tell me why are you telling me about all your fucking sources? I don't give a shit. Like, tell me the knowledge. No, they got to quantify that. They got to justify the fact they're about to make a statement and you need to believe their statement. So they spend 400 pages just talking about why their statement they're going to make is valid. And then they make their statement and then they wait. Are you going to judge me?
Yeah, that's the the thesis.
All right. I'm going to be late for work.
You probably have to figure out, huh?
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
Super excited. I'll send you the transcript and I'll give you the link to the recording once it renders. Stop recording.
Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.